Hi everyone, welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. My name's Damaris and I created Rainbow Vegans Rock. So today I wanted to talk a little bit more about the negative side of trying to lead a sustainable lifestyle, and what I have actually found that I have been unable to give up for various reasons. So the first one, which is probably quite a big one as well, is fruit and vegetable boxes. So during lockdown, when everyone was crazy, and for me, I personally usually place an order for a delivery slot to be delivered to us, because it's really not about going shopping with children, and I'm an introvert, so I will avoid those kind of situations where you're going to be in a very busy supermarket with lots of other people. So for me, during lockdown, we started to get a local box from our local post office. They started dealing with a fruit and vegetable supplier, and so they had these boxes in. So they invited everybody to, have a box every week or whenever they needed it. So we took them up on that offer because we thought that was great. We wanted to get a fruit and vegetable box for a while because we do eat a lot of fruit and vegetables as a family, so we thought, excellent, supporting local. And that was very successful for a while. When lockdown was starting to be lifted, I think the post office that we got it from started to have issues with everybody stopping ordering the boxes, so then they couldn't fulfill the whole order, and so we had to stop ordering from them as well. So we sourced another box, which was also fairly local to us, and they started to deliver that one. The only problem was it was I think it was the largest vegetable box that they do, that we used to buy, and a fruit bag, which was the only option that they had in the way of fruit. And for it to be delivered and everything, that came to around £30. So we had this box for several weeks during lockdown of this year, and unfortunately it just didn't work for us. We were finding that we were having to top up quite a bit at the supermarket as well, so spending more money on buying extra bananas, broccoli, peppers, all of these sort of staple things that we like to have every single week in our diet to keep us healthy. And having a slightly fussy 6-year-old as well, which were only certain vegetables, means it was just getting really limited. I mean, personally, I love vegetable boxes because you can get such unusual vegetables in there, and to me, I like that because then I can sort of think, oh, okay, I will have a look and see if I can find a recipe where I can use an artichoke, that sort of thing. So that side of it wasn't an issue for me at all. For us, it was just after a few months of doing it, we realised that we were just running out of money on our food budget, and we just didn't have the quantity of fruit and vegetables that we needed. And when I actually looked for a different provider, they were all more expensive and still not including quite enough of the fruit and vegetables that we needed. So I mean, it probably sounds a little bit like we're making excuses, but really it's not. We tried so hard to make this work, and unfortunately it just didn't, not for us. I think perhaps if you're a smaller family or you're an individual, perhaps it works out better for you, because then you're getting the right amount of everything. I mean, the last few weeks I have been buying approximately 25 bananas from the supermarket, just to make sure that we've all got enough. The baby likes a banana every day, I like a banana every day, my partner likes a banana every day, you know, that sort of thing. And it soon adds up. And when you get a fruit box, generally from these local suppliers, if there are bananas, there will be 3 in the box. I guess I just wish there was a better way of doing things, because the supermarket that we buy from, Tesco, I love Tesco, they're very good for vegan food, but they do still wrap a lot of their fruit and vegetables in plastic. And I think they really just need to switch it all over to paper. Hopefully one day the supermarkets will listen to that and make it much easier for us. And the next thing that I have struggled to switch is chewing gum. So earlier on in the year, after I'd found out that actually the vegan chewing gum, which just happens to be the everyday chewing gum you buy in the UK, is made from plastic, so some form of plastic, so that you can constantly chew it. And that shocked me. I didn't really want to be chewing on plastic. However, the vegan options that I tried, I will leave them here. The few that I tried earlier on in the year, although the texture was fine, a little bit different than I'm used to, that wasn't an issue for me. But the flavour, it just loses its flavour straight away. And because I'm actually buying chewing gum for my partner as well, so other people in the household, he just didn't like it. He did not accept. He said he would much rather chew on plastic than the natural sort of eco-friendly versions that I found. So I mean, I am still looking for a chewing gum with the flavour that lasts a bit longer than, a few seconds. Hopefully there is one out there. I'm sure if I ask on Instagram or somewhere, somebody will be able to give me a recommendation for another one to try. I'm definitely open to it. But at the moment, that is another thing that I have been unable to swap out. The next thing is food again, is yogurts. So the trouble is, I would love to make my own yogurts, but I really just don't have the time. And yogurts are something that my little boy likes. I like natural yogurt in the morning with breakfast, and so does my little baby as well. She likes to have natural yogurt. And I do believe I have a yogurt maker somewhere in the kitchen, which my mum gave to me, but I just haven't been able to find the time to make it myself. In the future, when I have a bit more time, I'll be able to give that a go, but the yogurts in plastic pots is what we have to deal with as it is at the moment. Fortunately for us, because we actually, every fortnight, we go past the recycling centre anyway, so we take our bits of recycling that don't get collected on the curbside, and we take that with us. So that's yogurt pots, hummus pots, that sort of thing. And at the moment we take it there to be recycled. So we're doing the best that we can, but that's just not something that I'm currently able to switch out. In fact, I don't think I've even seen a glass version of vegan yogurt. I know there are more sustainable versions I've seen somewhere, but in vegan yogurt in the UK, I haven't seen anything glass. If I did, I would snap it up in a second. Hopefully that's something that will come about in the future. The final one is takeaways. Now, we're not a huge takeaway family anyway, but we probably once every few months, if we fancy a takeaway, then we'll get one. Now, if you buy takeaway pizza, that's obviously not too bad because it comes in cardboard. The only bit of plastic really is the little plastic thing that goes in the middle that stops the lid hitting the top of the pizza. So that's the only bit of plastic that comes along with that. So it's not too bad, apart from them obviously delivering it to you. That's obviously a downside of takeaways in general. The other option that we do like to get is curry. So you can get some pretty decent vegetable curries, and luckily the one that we like to order from, which is really good, most of their things come in tin foil with like a cardboard top. So I suppose that's not too bad. I mean, of course it's still unnecessary waste, don't get me wrong. However, we are human and sometimes we need to have a takeaway because we haven't had time to cook, or we just fancy it because it's someone's birthday, you know, whatever the reason. And I'm glad that we have found one which has minimal plastics. You've only really got the plastic bag that it comes in, and if we've had any sauces or mango chutney or something like that, then that will come in a little plastic pot. But of course I repurpose those, I reuse those for snack pots, that sort of thing. So we're trying our best, but that is something that we haven't really been able to avoid. And I think that's okay. I think it's important in this day and age to sort of try your best with things, but to also not beat yourself up if you haven't been able to switch out certain items for eco-friendly versions in your journey, because sometimes there's just things that you aren't able to do. I think I did write a blog post which goes into a bit more detail about zero waste lifestyle and, you know, is it for the privileged? And I talk a lot about how my concerns is that anything marketed to people on their zero waste journey, or just people who want to help the environment in general, it always has such a big price tag, and that's not doable for everyone. You know, zero waste stores in the UK, there's quite a lot. However, they aren't always easy to get to. The one that's closest to me is not particularly easy to get to, and with a baby, I'm just never going that way. And it feels like sometimes, are you actually going to waste your petrol, so go out in the car to go to the zero waste store? There's a line, isn't there? I think that, are you actually doing worse by environmentally? I mean, are you actually doing worse environmentally by getting into the car and driving somewhere compared to what you're actually saving? So you're saving a bit of packaging by going to the bulk store, but are you actually cancelling that out by having to drive there in the first place? And I know for some people that's not even an option. If you don't have a car or you don't drive, then your only way to get to places is by public transport, which in this country, certain areas that you live, is not great. Public transport where I live is awful. In the village we don't even get buses that come out here on a Sunday, and it's not accessible by train. So it's definitely very limited in some places in the UK. I think I may have rambled a little bit today, but I think the message is just really to do what you can. I mean, it's more eco-friendly and sustainable products are coming up in more and more places now, and I personally am always on the hunt for the more affordable options, because we're not a huge earning household, and it seems it needs to be more easily available to people. That's what I'm trying to say, really. And hopefully in the future it will be, and that's what I'm hoping, that it'll be available to everybody. Yeah, I just hope that someday in the future the supermarkets can bring in much more sustainable ways of doing things, more sustainable packaging, everything. Because as much as I love to support, you know, the whole food stores that we have here in the UK, it's always that little bit more expensive if you do, and if you can factor that into your budget, that's amazing. But it's not always the case for everybody, and I think that is very important to remember, and not judge other people for not being able to switch out certain products for the eco-friendly version. And that is my message today. Just might sound a little bit negative, sorry if it does. I am just being honest, I suppose. I just being honest at my thoughts this year from everything, lockdown and everything else. So I hope you enjoyed this video today, and if you did, please do like and subscribe and leave me a comment to let me know that you did. That'd be excellent. It does really help. And I'll see you on the next one.